Hey everybody, I'm just out enjoying some of the beautiful Nevada landscape and weather. It's a beautiful day out and taking the FJ out for a little drive. It's fun to get out here and to get in the hills, to drive around. I am super pumped about where we're going over these next several weeks of Easter. The sermon series that I'm going to be preaching on. And you know, everything these days is about COVID, and it's about what's going on in our world. And most of the language and things that we're talking about, especially in the church, is fear, is worry, is the unknown, it's trust, it's peace. And we're still going to talk about those things a little bit, but there's a bigger question that I want to find out. What is God willing to do in this situation? See, we're in a unique situation where a lot of resources that normally we've spent are being reallocated. So normally it's like, I have no time because I've got so many things going on in my life. And now, because of the restrictions, we've got a lot of time. So figuring out, where should I be spending my time? It's the same thing with the rhythm of our lives. Like, we used to have a schedule, a system. We had everything planned out and each day had its structure. And now that whole structure is having to get reevaluated and redefined. Same thing with our money, right? It seemed like before you'd spend a lot of money on gas and now you're spending a lot of money on food, right? I mean, everything is getting reorganized and reshuffled. And that's exciting because that gives us an opportunity to ask the question, what, God, are you willing to do with me today? I have resources available. I have things in my life that I'm trying to figure out, where do they belong? And the best question to ask is, God, what are you wanting to do with my life right now? Where are you wanting to take me? And where might that journey lead? What might I see on the way? That's why I love coming out here, because you never know what you're going to find out in the wilderness, the public land of Nevada. It's one of my favorite parts about being here. I'm going to show you one of my favorite places in just a little bit here. We're going to go up a mountain by my house and I'm going to show you something that's awesome. So in these next few weeks, we're going to talk about from the movie Newsies, because I love the Newsies, you know, a good Disney musical. Who doesn't love that? There's a song called Seize the Day. Now is the time to seize the day. And instead of looking at this as a season of just waiting and just wandering and just worrying, we're going to start asking the question, God, what are you willing to do in the midst of all of this? What do you want to do with today? And that could be really exciting, because we know that God is in the business of taking terrible circumstances and bringing big blessings. Isn't that what we celebrated just last Friday? We celebrated how even though sin and death and the devil did everything they could to do the most perverse and terrible thing to God, how God took that same moment and in that terrible tragedy brought life for everyone and brought life everlasting out of death. See, God is in the business of taking unknown circumstances and terrible circumstances and bringing about huge blessings. So I wonder, what could God be doing right now? What could he be doing in the midst of this new season? There's a lot of people, after we get out of this, there's going to be a lot of businesses who say it's time to go back to normal. It's time to get things back to normal. But I don't want things to go back to normal. I don't want things to go back to the way they were. I'm in a mood and I'm in a desire always to grow. I want to continue to pursue and see what God is doing with my life and where he's willing to lead, rather than just where have I been and staying on the sidelines. I'm always looking for that new adventure, that new opportunity, because God is going to do something new and exciting and I want to be a part of it. I don't want to go back to the way things were. I want to go to a new beginning. I think you do too. I think we all do. So rather than just sitting in a waiting pattern and a holding pattern this whole time, there could be a little bit of waiting, there could be a little bit of discernment, but the question we need to be asking is, God, where do you want us to lead? How do you want us to seize this day? So, it's time to climb the mountain. It's time to see where we can go. See where God might take us and what he might do in the midst of the journey. It's a little bumpy. A challenge doesn't need to be scary. beautiful up here. First time I hiked up here was, I think, 4.5 years ago, maybe a little bit more, when I first moved to Reno. And I stood up here and I prayed, and I looked over where God had called me, and I wondered, what are you going to do with the time that we have? I want to share that with you today. What mountain might we climb during this season? What challenges will we face? What outcomes will there be to reach? See, that's really the question. We have a God who does big things, and he does big things in the lives of broken people. We don't have to worry about our own limitations. Instead, we can look forward to what God's able to accomplish in the midst of us. And that's an exciting thought. I want to show you what's just outside my house. Check this out. Here we go. See? This city hasn't changed. It's the same as it was 6 months ago, a year ago, and in this one key way, it's going to be the same no matter what happens, no matter what comes. God is not going to give up on this city. He's not going to give up on us. He's going to do big things in this city, and the awesome part is he's going to use us to do it. So the question is, how are we going to seize the day? How are we going to take new opportunity to grow in this season? God is not going to give up on us. He's going to do the mighty work that he planned to do no matter what comes and no matter what tries to stand in the way, because he is greater than and he is faithful. We can say every day with sure delight and promise and hope, this is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it, because he's willing to use us to bring his glory to this city. And that's an exciting idea. So how can we seize the day, every single day from this day until we can come back together and those days afterwards, to seek the Lord and to seek his will for our lives, for our families, and for this city?